What is studio?
Good question.
That's a hard one. I don't even know.
Okay.
Design studio is not easy to explain. It's more than fashion or interior design, but they are the career areas used to make students competitive and prepared to achieve their career goals. To explain how studio and the entire fashion, apparel, and interior design program prepares students for their futures, we have divided class into 4 areas critical for success in the design industry as well as transferable to all career paths. Those 4 areas are project management, technology, presentation, and professionalism. Professionalism is essential in the workplace. Through the fashion, apparel, and interior design program, students have the opportunity to develop and continually improve upon industry standard skills. In addition, students are also given the opportunity to develop critical interpersonal skills, including responsibility and integrity, to successfully complete tasks within team projects.
Because of studio, I worked with 2 other gals in class, and we linked up with one of the architecture classes and created 2 dresses from Wicked. And we actually worked on them over we had 3 snow days in a row or something, and we just camped out in this little room in the girls' basement and created these 2 dresses, and they were here, but Taylor has them now. And that was probably one of the coolest things, and it wasn't directly in this class, but it was because of this class that we did it, and it was some of the hardest sewing I think I've ever done in my life. But it was a blast. It was so much fun.
Oh, absolutely. Their presentation skills and their attention to detail from beginning to end. And I think that's great that Miss Bose teaches you guys that, because it's not something in a core class we always get to do. We talk about speak up, but she's really giving an opportunity for you to do that, and that's really cool.
Well, I don't know if it changed my perspective, because I typically, when I look at a kid, I always tend to think that they have the capability of being anything they want. I think it maybe really just confirms what I know about those kids. I see high school kids as having this amazing ability. They just need to find the right teachers and the right environment to take advantage of those abilities, and I think design does a really good job of doing that.
Well, the time and the effort that's clearly put into it, you just get to see students in a completely different role when they're up on stage. And I think it's probably the same for students when you see teachers kind of step out of their comfort zone and do something that's different for them. It's the same thing for us when we see students do that. So it just kind of puts the spotlight on students that we don't always see. And it really shows growth. So when we see students sitting behind a desk and then going up in front of the room, it shows their growth. And it really just, again, it pushes you. We get to see some maturity. We get to see confidence. We get to learn more about students when they're doing things like this. And it really shows kind of independence. And it gives us confidence that when they leave here that they're going to make it.
I think it just makes me, because I love seeing them in a creative mode and doing something different than doing a math problem in my classroom. And so I think it's fun, just how they can articulate and really explain what they're doing and why they're doing it, and just see them in a different side of life than just the classroom.
I'm currently in graduate school for landscape architecture, which is a little different than the studios that I was in, but I know Vose had always told us that all design is design, and the basic design concepts can be used throughout, and that has really helped me succeed in my program. And then also in my internship that I had, which led to a job, and I attribute that to the stuff I learned in studio, definitely.
Teamwork is a really big one, because you're assigned to random teams. You just have to make it work. Teamwork makes the dream work. And time management, because with these big projects, you literally could not procrastinate like I would with all my other classes. You have to have a schedule, a set schedule, and do it. So time management. responsibility, because like if you don't pull your part doing something, like you're responsible for that. So just anything, the list goes on.
We learned how to problem solve, we learned how to work with people, and I loved it. And those are things that I have definitely used in undergrad and in working and now in grad school. It's been really great. Fashion was super awesome to me.
Personal skills as far as like teamwork and stuff along those lines, and then as far as the interior design stuff, I mean, basically those started from the bottom, which was really nice, like the color wheel and, you know, primary color, tertiary colors, stuff like that. I still use that in my job now.
Definitely how to work with other people. There's a lot of different personalities, big and small, so definitely being able to listen to their ideas and put that into like one overall project.
But it wasn't right at the beginning that the design program was going, and so I got to see students sort of evolve into this new and amazing opportunity for Olathe East.
Maybe not the perspective on the students, but honestly, the perspective on the class, because most people that have never seen the presentations think these are blow-off classes, fluff classes, and they're really not. If you see one of those presentations, they're the real deal. The students put a ton of time into them, and it's serious work, hard work. So I would say that's the big thing. Not just a single student or a single presentation, but the class itself, how much is involved in the class.
Communication skills and being able to work in a group, especially with a lot of different personalities. That is really hard. And since I'm a business major, I think that has helped me in projects and in school, and I'm sure it'll obviously help me in the future, but for now, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of a leader in my group, and I know how to manage and lead.
I had a girl last year, she was my aide, and I had her when she was a freshman, and you know, just struggled, but to watch her have to push herself, and this is like it's like a business world. I mean, this is professional grade presentations, and to watch her struggle but then also succeed was like this culminating aha moment for me, to see her go from freshman year English class, move up, and then see her do her senior projects in this class was a nice touch, nice finishing touch.
The discipline, she knows her deadlines, she just knows what goes and loves to do it.
Organizational skills, time management, working with groups, working with other people, being collaborative is huge in everything you do. I remember like when I first started studio, I was like, I just want to do everything individual, like group projects, whatever. But everything you do in life will be a group project. There's no such thing as just like a single project when you get into the real world. So I think learning how to work with people as well.
In this class, I really learned a lot of leadership skills and a lot of really good networking skills that I apply today. Bo's always kind of made sure that we contacted the people we were working with ourselves and made the phone calls and follow-ups and thank yous and all of that. So that really kind of taught us to just be independent and learn how to communicate and work with others.
Multitasking and like time management is like a huge thing that you can use in school, out of school, and jobs. Like it will always be important.
I think when you have to take ownership of your own product or your own presentation, you naturally hold yourself to a higher standard because your name is associated with something that everybody's looking at. And so I think we talk about maturity of students. It really took their performance to a higher level because I think they enjoyed what they were doing and had a passion for it, and that helped. But also I think there's that pressure of, I've got to show this to an audience. And it really forced, I think, students to really put in that extra effort that maybe another class they might not.
Projects, or a lot of the projects that were assigned here, he uses every day in his job. Whether it's building a board or things of that nature, he uses a lot of what he learned here every day in the real world.
A successful project manager must simultaneously manage the 4 basic elements of a project: resources, time, finance, and most importantly, scope. Each element is interrelated and must be managed effectively if the project and the project manager is to be a success.
to be completely honest, this is where I flexed my first creative bone, you could say. I work in advertising, and my role in advertising came out of this class. I didn't necessarily want to go into fashion. I love the concepts from this class. I learned how to present, I learned how to talk to people, and I learned how to think strategically in concept. And that all led me to my career in advertising because of this.
A place where students can find their strengths in a way that really lets them express it, and then express it to the rest of the school or to people that come watch the presentations. It's a lifelong, they'll be in it lifelong, so it prepares them for future endeavors. It's hard to think of just one because they're all so good. But I like when they're very interactive and, you know, are well prepared and really explain what they're doing and why they want to do that, rather than just saying this is going to be blue, but why do you want it blue, and that kind of thing. I think that's fun.
Time management, for sure, is a big thing that this class helped me with a lot, I think. Just with all the projects and everything, so that's obviously still something that's stuck with me through college, and especially in college and then in work too, just being able to manage your time efficiently.
Well, I think one of the most important skills is his time management, that he realized that he couldn't put off things till the night before in order to do them well. And he took a lot of pride in his work, so I think really time management.
Time management is definitely number one. I know at my college we get like 3 weeks to work on certain projects, and if you wait last minute, then it's just really bad, and you're stressing last minute, and everything just goes wrong.
A lot of time management skills, and just being able to separate out each project and think about the steps you need to get to finish it, and a lot of like teamwork and presentation skills, and like how to talk to an audience and stuff like that.
Technology makes our lives easier, our work more efficient, and our products professional. It also allows us to experience the design industry before many of our peers.
The biggest thing that I remember that I still use to this day is Vose was able to teach us Photoshop, and she was able to teach us digital aspects, not just like fashion or interior design, but we learned a lot of digital aspects that I still use today. I would have never, I didn't know how to do Photoshop. They didn't teach us that in college. So when I came to my job here at the station, the news station in Houston, I was able to come into it, and they asked me if I was able to use Photoshop, and I said, yeah, I took it, you know, a couple semesters in high school, and they were like, that's awesome. And so I was able to throw myself into it when I got to my station. And so it's not just like the fashion aspect or the fashion world or even the interior world that you're learning stuff in your class, but you're able to use the things that you learn in this class, and you can use it for other ventures like communications and all kinds of other jobs. So I think the digital aspect of everything that we learned was probably my favorite and what I use the most in my day-to-day work life.
Did the magazine project which we used InDesign. That was my very first experience using InDesign, and I use it every single day now. So it was really neat to learn that in that class.
Effective presentation skills are critical, regardless of the career path a student chooses. Presenting is much more than public speaking. It encompasses quality of work, professionalism in the workplace, and how one is regarded by others. The ability to present ideas and build relationships with colleagues and other industry professionals is a vital component of the fashion, apparel, and interior design program.
Presenting, because she films you and then you have to watch it, and it's uncomfortable not only for you but for everyone involved, because you're like, oh my god, like what's like why do I do that with my hands, or why am I talking so fast, or I didn't even know that I did it. So she teaches you a lot of self-awareness, and that just kind of carries you throughout, you know, the rest of your career. And I present every single day in my job.
Presentations in studio has helped me tremendously with speaking in front of my peers and my future students.
Really good life practical skills. The working together with other people, the give and take compromise that comes with working with other people, being able to feel confident in your own expression of your thoughts and ideas, and knowing that your ideas have worth just as much as anybody else in the group. Being able to plan a presentation, organize your time to put things together, know how to keep your audience's engagement.
Public speaking. Before studio, I could barely talk in front of people without like getting red, and now I can talk in front of like a group of 40 people and be like totally fine with it.
Public speaking, yeah, I do that every day. To a class I teach, so I have to be comfortable in front of talking to people.
So that skill of being able to take something from your mind and actually get it down into something that people can see and understand.
Presentation skills are probably the biggest. I'm not like in a fashion major, so I feel like it's definitely my public speaking. Like I'm in a public speaking class right now, and doing speeches is like easy for me because I don't feel uncomfortable in front of an audience because we had to do it so many times here. So I think that that's probably the skill I use the most often now.
The presentation skills I think are like amazing that you learn in this class, and the experience that you have and get from this class in presenting is unlike any other. When you go off to college, I think it's really noticeable in your freshman year when people are, like you have your first presentations in your first like intro class, and someone with a background or who was in this class actually kind of incredibly stands out from the rest, and you can just tell that they've had experience.
Presenting, I was not very confident in myself. I was super shy getting up in front of people before this class, and because of all the projects that you did, you learned and how to present, like what is expected in a presentation, and gain that confidence to get up in front of people. Can't tell you how many times you're gonna have to do that in college. So being able to do that in college, it's made it a lot easier for those group projects because you knew what to expect. And also I kind of started actually becoming more of a leader in projects because of it, because I already knew what to do and knew what to expect, and I've carried that on to my current job as well.
Embracing my own self-confidence, and that doesn't necessarily seem like a skill that you learn in class, but studio truly taught me that.
So let's try this again. What is studio?
A fun learning environment for art and creativity.
I'd say studio is an opportunity to express yourself creatively, but also apply things that you've learned in other core classes, and an extension that is very real world and very hands-on. And I think it's also an opportunity to experience things you've never experienced before, and maybe never will have an opportunity to do something like putting together the presentations you guys do, putting on a fashion show and participating in it. Some of those extensions of learning are things that maybe you only get to do that one time. So I think it's a great opportunity for learning and growth.
Studio is just this awesome class that lets kids be creative and explore all kinds of different careers, and even if they don't use it for a career, they've learned so much about presenting in front of a group, how to be comfortable in front of people, how to use their time wisely. It is just a great class.
Studio is more than just about fashion, which I've kind of made clear. It's about just creativity in general, and it's about kind of looking in on yourself and figuring out some strong suits you have and helping you just be set up for success. It's way more than drawing dress sketches and thinking about design aspects. It's more of like figuring out what you're good at, and it's helping facilitate what you're good at and making you better.
I would say that it is like a comfortable space to come and learn skills about design and art, and also about the real life and when you leave. I would say that studio is the class that I've taken the most away from and still use today, in my job and just kind of in life in general. I think that it gives students the kind of like materials and building blocks to kind of really start their careers and inspire them, which I think is incredible and unlike anything else that I've seen or encountered, which is awesome.
Studio is a blast. It's the most unique class I've ever taken here. Really, the experiences and skills that you learn really can't compare to math or English or any of those.
You get to see what other people, how they view things, and see other things from different perspectives. You make lifelong friends.
I don't know, I think it's important, I guess, for like more skills other than just fashion. I felt like I learned a lot from like my other classmates. I learned a lot from Bose. I learned a lot from the projects we did. A lot of time management. I think it's important.
A very worthwhile, practical, life skills, employability skills kind of a class.
Studio is something that maybe when the kids start to take it, they think it might be a slack off fun class to take. But then I think as the year goes on, they learn to love it.
I mean, it's creativity, it's making you think outside the box. It's not this little box that you have to fit everything in. It's you have to look outside of that and figure out what you want to do to make your presentation the best.
It's just a really great opportunity. Without Studio, I definitely Studio made me know what I want to do for the rest of my life, which is fashion. So yeah, Studio really, it is life-changing because it just opened a bunch of doors and possibilities.
I think that it is a creative outlet for creative minds. I think that it empowers students to convey their personality, their message, their strengths in a way that perhaps they're not able to be as open or vocal about in other areas of our building. This is a place for students to excel, and sometimes they excel here in a way that we don't get to see them excel other places, and I think that that's pretty.
Studio was a lot of hard work and team building and just being able to pull creativity from yourself and work on projects. And every time we did it, it bettered us and made us better, and by the end of it you could see the difference between when we began and our ending point and how much we had improved, and just not only did the skills we learned apply to the design and interior field, but also to just everything that we do in our life, presentations or teamwork building activities.
Combining, fashion and interior design and apparel and all of that into a way where you can do projects that would be, a lot of them were kind of real things that you could encounter in the future too, as well as gaining skills, I guess, to help you throughout college and your jobs, especially with that public speaking aspect of it and the time management too. So, and to have fun.
Amazing. Honestly, Studio was always my favorite class because since I was a sophomore, I always knew I wanted to do interior design.
Studio is an amazing class to take because it gives you everything you know about fashion. You get to create friendships, and it really pushes you to try your best.
Rigorous, creative, hard work, project-based.
Interesting, informative, fun.
It's definitely a team builder type of a class. Being creative and loving what you do is what this teaches you. I may not have gone the super design path, but I still realize that, I may not be super creative and actually being able to do graphic design or anything like that, but I love thinking of ideas and using my brain to think of ways to appeal to people, and through this class I was able to find that.
It's a creative process that ends in a finished product that is completely professional and shows problem-solving skills.
Studio was an environment where you can figure out what you like and kind of create your own path. So whether the description of the project was one thing, you could kind of take it your own way as long as you were able to go along a little bit of the guidelines. It wasn't very strict, and that was really motivating to me. So I would say, I don't even know how to describe Studio. it definitely set me up for success in general because of all of the college path that I decided to go down was very similar to all of these studio paths.
A place for young professionals to learn and inspire of who they want to be in the future.
Learn daily skills, but in a fun way. You learn, like I said, time management, speaking skills, but you get a creative outlet and you get to do things in your own way, which is always nice and get students engaged, I think.
Studio was such a great class. It wasn't just like fashion like people think, or interior design or sewing or whatever perception people had of it. It was a really great class. It gave people a group to belong in. It was a really good place to make friends. Like, all of us were so close in my class.
It's creative. It's amazing. It's one of the best opportunities for students to take their presentation skills and do it. Everybody should have to do it. Everybody should have to try it, because it's kind of like working in retail. You don't understand it until you do it, and I think everybody should have to have that opportunity. It's so cool.
In the real world, design is very integrated between different disciplines, and so it was a really good experience to get working with other people that aren't in your exact field.
Filled with passionate kids that care about their future, have an idea of who they want to be as a person, that are professional, respectable kids that just love Olathe East even, but most importantly care about each other. And I think that's one thing design teaches, that not all content it's easy to teach. The ability to care for others because you're dependent on others to support your project and what you're trying to create. And I think when I look at those design kids, that's what I see.
I could tell that it was a place that was a safe place for her to actually express her ideas and to come, and she got really close to the people in the class. So it was an opportunity to take those ideas and learn and have that chance to take the time to get them actually on paper or actually in some visual form. So it's, I think of studio, I think of application, actually putting the theories to work.
Priceless for sure. It definitely brings so many things to the table, and definitely the #1 class I would tell anyone to take. So I would just say priceless.
Helps you network. I think it helps you build relationships. It teaches you how to kind of dig deep into yourself and figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. It also gives you skills to be able to develop as you grow with your job and your life. And I don't know, studio's played a huge part in my life and my job, and I think it's the best thing for everyone to do is take a studio class, honestly. As crazy as that sounds, everyone should take a studio class, no matter what.
Design Studio is the culminating design course that focuses on the career opportunities within the design industry and practicing the skills necessary to be successful. The course is divided into 3 areas of study: the classroom, the studio, and the field. The goal of design classes is to introduce students to career opportunities in the design field and to help them become competitive in the post-secondary area of their choice. In order to be competitive, teamwork, time management, professional presentation, and deadlines are critical to success in the fashion, apparel, and interior design program.